All right. So this lesson is about SQL. Now, SQL stands for Structured Query Language, and it forms the basis about a lot of questions in the HSC. However, interesting enough, the 2016 paper didn't have an SQL in its multiple choice. Normally, there is some pretty simple to follow multiple choice questions, and this year, or the one just gone a year ago, because we're about to do the HSC again, didn't have one. But I still think it's very, very important to know all about SQL. So SQL stands for Structured Query Language, and it's a query language used to access and manipulate data in relational databases. Variations have been created, and a lot of network administrators actually use what's called MySQL, and it's a program that allows them to do certain things on, on their networks. Now, the thing about this is what the main words that get asked are located on page 59. If you have a look at page 59, down the bottom it says the keywords are select, from, where, and order by, right? So the first select has to select the fields, and it shows you there in the table, examples are first name and last name. The values of from, where do you get those fields from? So you have to collect it from the tables, or select it from the tables. And of course, the example is it's come from the students table. And where is the search criteria? Now, that was what we did before, the relational and logical operators, as well as the wildcard. So where that occurs is in that where part. And SQLs are pretty prevalent throughout, so we have to understand it. And the last bit of that is you can order them, or you sort them ascending so that you actually have them A to Z. And that's what sort ascending means. Now, structured query languages, if you turn over the page, you can see an example of an SQL in a database, which would be an Access database, and to everyone it looks like a dog's breakfast. And that's understandable because it's so foreign to everyone that was like, oh my God, look at that. But if I show you an example of an SQL, there is this page which I have found, which is our sql-tutorial.net SQL tutorial. There's a video on this, and it has the SQL table of contents. So it says SQL table, SQL select, SQL where. You can have a look at all of that, but there's also a 2-minute video that you can watch. Now, that is a really good resource, and you'll see that I have actually placed that on our page. So you're probably wondering, oh, where does that fit in? It fits in here, so the SQL tutorial, and also I've put in there Konagora SQL resources. Now this is Konagora. It's got a few links, but I just go to the free SQL stuff, and there's like this free 13-minute video, and then there's a few other ones that you can have a look at, but the main one that I really would like you to watch is this 13-minute video. So I would recommend probably after you have listened to me speak about SQL, then go and watch these videos because the links are there for you. The other thing I want to show you about SQL, and I don't want to sort of throw you off a little bit, but here is a question. All right, so what happens is usually they'll give you a table, and you have to answer questions 10 and 11. And it says here, a news agency keeps product data. As you can see, there's all the data. And it ran a query, and these data were extracted. This one here, all right? So that was the result. It was disk case and mouse mat. So if you have a look at disk case and mouse mat, right, they're under $10, right, or under $9, and mouse holder is over $9. So what it's saying is, what will be the query? So select product name, which is its selected product name from the product table, because it says it's the product table, where price is greater than 9. No, that's not right. Or select product from the it's less than 9, or select this from product where price is greater than 9. So what's the difference from, it says, oh, you've got to select price as well. Well, actually, in that, you have to do that because you're actually going to select the price. So that price has to be put in there. So this would be the answer, where price is less than 9. So there's no way you could do that one. That's just wrong. So that is how you do answer an SQL question where it says select from where. But maybe they might say, after running a query, this data was extracted. This is a result, right? And it might say in a question, what would be the SQL? So you'd have to write select from where, and you'd have to write select product name price from product where. Now, I have found in the past that students are very good at interpreting these, right, and being able to recognize which one's the correct SQL, but students tend to struggle with being able to write them. And so the way in which we do this is I will now give you some homework tasks to actually write some SQL so that you can have them checked and make sure you're doing the right thing. But at the moment, we're still talking about some of the last final things. And on our Prezi, if I go back to this one, the last part of this is about searching. Now, searching, right, is still part of what you do in a database, but in your textbook, it talks about how a search engine works. And I thought that in a nutshell, I would show you how Google works with this guy here, Matt Cutts, and he talks about how Google uses, let me see if I can find the image. All right. Google uses spiders. Now, spiders actually go and search out the web. Nice face, mate. And searches out the web to find out an index of what it's actually looking for. And your textbook talks about also search robots. Well, search robots are like agents, and agents are what the technical term for what a spider actually does. So go and watch that video, and then I will give you some learning activities or some tasks to do that are based on what you have just learned, because that concludes HSC topic 2.3. Yay!